Hello, we'd like to welcome you to another discussion that we have today. And today, what we're going to be discussing is inflammation. Here we go. Is inflammation a friend or is it a foe? Well, let me give you some symptoms. Let's say you wake up one morning and you find redness, fever, swelling, pain, or discomfort. What comes to mind? What do you think the problem is? Well, actually, these are the same symptoms that occur when your body sends an alarm for something that's not right. And I could have been talking about from the bottom of your toe to your tonsils, or from your lower back to your liver. Any part of your body, whenever something's not right, your body sends out an alarm, and that alarm begins your body with inflammation. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a protective mechanism that allows your body to defend itself against any infection, illness, or injury. In fact, you need inflammation in order for your body to heal. The problem isn't inflammation itself. The problem is when the alarm keeps ringing after the emergency is over. And when this happens, then inflammation can become chronic. And chronic inflammation is the basis or the root of all diseases. So what exactly is inflammation? Well, as we see here, it's one of the body's natural protective responses. When the body detects an injury, an infection, or something that could potentially cause harm, it responds. Your blood vessels change, your blood flow to the area increases, chemical signals are released, and the immune cells are called to action. Let's take a closer look at this. I love this slide. It shows us how, let's see here on the right side of the picture, you've got a wound. Okay, now this wound could be your skin, or the wound could be the inside lining of your intestines. Maybe it's your liver. Maybe it's your ankle. It's a ligament on your ankle. Whatever it is, you've got some kind of wound that occurred. Bacteria, other pathogens may enter that wound. And in doing so, we need good circulation in this area to bring platelets from the blood and to release those blood clotting proteins at the wound site. And you can see those right here. We're going to set down a mesh that will stop, be a barrier, okay, help the body to start healing itself. Number 3, mast cells. These send out warning signals. So it sends out a signal, okay? Just like your beamer sends out a signal, just like your phone sends out a signal. And these signals help the movement of the vessels so that you get more blood flow to the area, bringing more plasma, more immune cells. And all of this explains why swelling will occur whenever you have an injury. This swelling around the injury can act like an internal brace to immobilize the area, to protect it while it's trying to heal. Number 4, neutrophils come to the area, and we can see them coming through the bloodstream here, coming through the capillary. They go right through the capillary wall and they come right over to where the problem is. And they start to secrete factors or little hormones that will start to kill or degrade these pathogens. The neutrophils and the macrophages, another white blood cell, come to the area. And notice what they start to do. They start to engulf all these pathogens that are in that area. And in doing so, as they engulf it, they make it part of them, then they break it down, kind of digest it. They recycle the parts, dispose of things that the body can't use. Number 6, while that's going on, these macrophages are secreting hormones called cytokines. These cytokines attract more of the immune system to the area and also start to the construction crew to come so that we can have tissue repair. This inflammatory response continues until all the foreign material is eliminated and the wound is repaired. So what do you think of this design? Your own built-in defense and repair system. And this is really where it gets interesting, because normally this process Something happens, inflammation begins, immune cells respond, the problem's addressed, repair begins, and the inflammation is resolved. What a beautiful system. The body knows how to turn it on, and then when it's done, it turns it off. But what happens when the alarm does not turn off? What happens if the wound is caused by something you're continually doing to yourself? Or the foreign material is something you're continually putting into your body from your diet, or maybe some of the lotions or things that you might be using. See, that's when we start talking about chronic inflammation. So instead of alarm, response, repair, resolution, you have alarm, response, alarm, response, alarm, response. It just keeps on going. And the inflammatory response continues over a long period of time. And in doing so, that's going to lead to all of these problems that we see here. It leads to disease. Okay. Take a look at this list. Do you know of anyone who is suffering from any of these problems? Or perhaps these problems that we have here, very similar list, right? And so it's all caused because of chronic inflammation. The body never turns off the alarm system. So as far as that goes, there are some things like smoking, obviously, excessive visceral fat. That's not the fat under your skin that's protective, but that's the fat that accumulates around your organs. Too much of that can cause this inflammation that goes on. Having poor sleep, chronic stress, inactivity, unhealthy dietary patterns. All of these things can cause this chronic inflammation to continue. Let's take a look at the diet, for example, if you're all still with me. These are some things that can cause people to always stay in an inflamed state. And sometimes it's not so much the dairy, but maybe it's the source of your dairy. What antibiotics are they putting into the cows? And then they milk the cows. And so now you're getting antibiotics put into your system when you drink that milk. And now your body is using that antibiotic as being something that's setting off this alarm on a regular basis. The same thing with wheat, right? Man has been eating bread since the beginning of time. But why is it now, within this last couple of decades, that wheat has become so toxic to people? Well, the way that they harvest the wheat has a lot to do with it. Putting all the different chemicals on there in order to kill the weeds that are around the wheat, in order to dry the wheat so that they can harvest it and make more money off their crop. All of these chemicals that they put on the wheat, those are the things that our body gets inflamed about. GMO corn, okay? When you talk about genetically modified. So when it gets into your body's like, what's this? We've never seen this gene before. It has no idea what to do with it, sets off the alarm, and the alarm keeps on going. We've talked about sugar. That is your worst enemy ever. Fried foods. And what we're doing with those fried foods, what are you frying them in? We can talk another whole time about seed oils that were produced from different seeds and how toxic they are to your body. And every time you heat up that oil, it releases more toxins. Those toxins go into the food that you're frying. You eat those foods, you're putting the toxins in your body. They now become something that turns on an alarm. Once the alarm gets turned on, your body gets into this cycle and it just doesn't know how to turn it off, because that might be your habit of eating these kind of things on a regular basis. And last but not least, red meat. So not that there's anything wrong with red meat, but what we need to ask the question is, well, what did the farmer do to their meat? And how did they process their meat in order for, does it have any toxins that would cause this to happen there? So what are some things that you can do to reduce inflammation in your body? We see that inflammation is the root of all disease. I found this, I thought it was nice to share with you how you can reduce the brain inflammation. So we can take this and add it to any part of your body. First of all, eat healthy fats, right? So not those seed fats, but healthy fats. We've got avocados, right? Fish, We've got omega-3s. Make sure you've got a good source of that. Your fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, right, are all good for your body. Number 2, reduce your carbs. Well, we know how sugar, how that is a dangerous poison for your body. And so that's basically what they're talking about. But look at this. It contributes to the overgrowth of yeast. And that's something to think about, because yeast, now that's going to cause more inflammation in your body. Number 3, exercise. The more I learn about muscles, the more I learn of how important they are for them to be strong and healthy in order to help your body to have less inflammation and to be healthier. Notice stronger muscles helps with your circulation, so important. Lymph function, so important, and making sure that all your tissues get the oxygen they need. Give up the grain. Well, we just talked about that. Take a look at the grains that you're eating. You can even go online, perhaps, maybe buy some grains from Europe that are not with all the toxins that we have today. Read the labels, find out what it says. Last but not least, we got the blood sugar. We've talked about that before. And I thought this was interesting, right? Alzheimer's disease, it's becoming known as type 3 diabetes. So really take a look at your body and what you're doing now. Are you setting yourself up for type 3 diabetes? The things you do now are going to really pay off in the long run. And last but not least, it says here to limit unnecessary prescriptions that you have. And really, we can do that. The stronger and the healthier your body is, the less that it is reliant on different prescriptions. Notice it says whenever possible. Obviously, go by what your doctor is telling you. Work along with your own doctor. But that's where we're going to take a look at circulation here. And that's why I love the Beamer so much, because truly this Beamer product that has been on the market for over 25 years, it really helps you support your body on a cellular level. We've seen that green video before. And what you find after the Beamer's been running for a few minutes, you start to see white blood cells. And they're rolling along the vessel wall. They're picking up the signal of where they need to go to protect the body from invaders. You're activating this white blood cells to do what they need to do in order to go and engulf any invaders that are there and to get rid of the inflammation. And then last but not least, just simply here, it helps to support your body's ability to return to the balance, because that's what we want. We want the alarm to go off when necessary, but we want it also to go off when it's over. And so all of these things really help when we take a look at the Beamer. Getting blood flow to those little nooks and crannies, making sure all the platelets, all the white blood cells get to where it's needed, and then the construction crew gets there next in order to start healing. And truly, that's what it's all about. Not forcing your body to do something that it's not supposed to do, but instead supporting the normal body process. And so really, when we take a look at it, inflammation, is it bad? Well, think about this story, right? An alarm goes off, your immune system responds, your body addresses the problem, more circulation, more energy to the area helps all that through. And then ideally, the alarm turns off. That's healthy. That's an amazing gift that you have. But inflammation is not the enemy, but it's part of your body's emergency response. The goal is to help your body to respond when it needs to, repair where it can, and return to the balance when the job is done. So let me leave you with this question. Inflammation, is it a foe or a friend?